Today, we are tier ranking every single wide receiver one in the NFL. The ball is on the 25, and it is 1st and 10. Welcome back to the show. Today, we got a fantastic episode on the horizon. As I mentioned, we are tier ranking every single wideout one in the National Football League, and it's going to be a fun episode. But before we do that, Metro, my co-host right here. Metro, how are you doing today, sir? And then also, who are you playing with? What position, might I say, in College Football 26 Road to Glory?
I'm having a great day. Nice little recording session. And in terms of what position I'm playing, well, I just got the game last night. And, of course, I had to start off with a linebacker. You see me, Texas boy right here, starting off with a linebacker, specifically middle linebacker. I don't like playing off the edge. I like playing right in the middle, right on top of the center. And the second that ball is snapped, whether it's a pass or it's a run, I'm going for a sack. I'm going for a tackle for loss. I don't care if I give up a big play behind me. I'm going for the stats. I'm trying to win a Heisman as a linebacker. It's probably not going to happen, but you never know. I'm going to give him my best shot.
A man can dream. A man can dream. I love that you chose Mike. Like, what are you? Drop in the comments below what position y'all are choosing in Road to Glory, because I love hearing the sickos that are like, oh, I'm a cornerback. I'm like, how the hell are you a cornerback in Road to Glory? That seems extremely hard. Metro, you ready to make this awesome wide receiver one list?
Yes. Do you want to explain the tier list? Because got some good names here.
I would absolutely love to. Here are the tiers in front of you. Let's go through each one. First up, we have Elite. Guys, this will be saved for the best of the best, the cream of the crop in the National Football League. These guys are virtually untouchable. Next up, we have Borderline Elite. Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. You're almost there, but just on the edge. Next up, we have a good wide receiver one. These are franchise guys. You base your team around them and give them fat contracts, because if they leave, your team is in a very bad spot. Next up, we have Serviceable. This sounds like a disrespectful tier. It is not. This means you're a solid wide receiver one. You do your thing, and you are needed in that offense. Then finally, Need an Upgrade. Hey, we like you, but you could improve in these ways. Or maybe you're fading over time, whatever it may be, age or just production to begin with. There is something more to be had here as our wide receiver one. Then finally, our rookie tier. This one is the most fun one of them all. We're going to put every rookie in here, and then Metro and I, at the very end of the video, we will force ourselves to pre-rank these guys before they take a single snap in the NFL, which should make for some very questionable tiers. It's going to be a fun episode. Metro, are you ready to do this one by one?
Yeah, in addition to putting them in an actual tier, we're also going to be trying to put them in order. So, for example, if you're the top of the elite tier, that means we think you're the best. If you're second, that means you're the second best, and vice versa for every single tier list. So we'll explain it as we go along, and I think we're going to have a really interesting conversation here with our first player on the board, Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill. Known as the potential, maybe not the best, but guys, when Tyreek Hill was at his best, which has honestly been for the past 5 years, he only had one bad year in this past one. He's been somebody a defense has to know where he's at on the field at all times. D coordinators hate this dude with the passion. But last year, as I mentioned, took a step off, had some injuries, had a lot of stuff happen. Was it him slowing down, or was it just an off year? That is the question. In most years, I'd put him in elite or for sure borderline elite at the minimum. What are your thoughts, Metro? Where do we rank this man, Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, so he ranked 30th in total yards receiving-wise last year with less than 1,959. 81 receptions, though, so he did have a good amount of receptions. In fact, he had let me get an exact number, the 21st most receptions, so a little bit more receptions than yardage. Of course, Tyreek Hill in the years past, like a consistent 1,000-yard receiver. The year prior, 1,700-plus receiving yards, almost 1,800. Fantastic player. The question for Tyreek Hill is, do we give him the benefit of the doubt? And I do personally think we should. Last year, the Tua Tagovailoa injury really hurt that roster. Tyreek was also dealing with a handful of other things, too, like being arrested before a game. So I'm going to give him a bit of some slack here, give him the benefit of the doubt. I would put him in borderline elite. I think he'll probably be towards the back end when it's all said and done, but I do think he should at least be in borderline elite. Again, giving him the benefit of the doubt here.
I am right there with you. Borderline elite is the perfect description for Tyreek Hill right here. Next, let's go to voice crack Ladd McConkey, the Chargers' young wide receiver who broke out on the scene. He was insanely productive last year. Where the hell do we put him, Metro? He's got to be at least mentioned to put him here in wide receiver 1, maybe even borderline elite. No, let's not get crazy, but he's somewhere in here. What are we thinking?
Yeah, he was 10th in yards last year with 1,149. It's a 1-year sample size. I don't really think we should necessarily use that against him, but I don't think he's elite, obviously. I don't want to say he's borderline elite. Good wide receiver 1 to serviceable makes the most amount of sense for me. My question would be, do you think you could find an upgrade at wide receiver 1 over Ladd McConkey, or do you think that he's probably as good as they're going to get?
That's a fantastic question, Metro. I believe in Ladd. I think he will finish here in his career, to be honest. I don't think he's going to be borderline elite. That's just me, but I think this is his exact spot. But the same way we're giving Tyreek Hill the respect he deserves, do we give this young pup a little bit more of the doubt than he should have?
Well, I think we need to emphasize, when we say you're a serviceable wide receiver 1, that's a very good thing. That means you're doing your job. That means you're not a liability by no means. It just means that you're not a total game changer, a total difference maker, right? Jamar Chase, we're going to talk about here in just a second, that's a game changer. That's a difference maker. Tyreek Hill, when he's playing at his usual level, is a difference maker, right? He's a game changer. I do think Ladd can be, but I don't know if he's necessarily like that the entire season. I would throw him in serviceable. Again, being a serviceable wide receiver 1 is a totally fine thing. Do not think it's a negative connotation towards him. I say we start him off in serviceable, but as we go along, maybe we move him up if we feel like he deserves to be moved up.
Approved. Fair is fair. We're going to put him here right on the border of serviceable and good wide receiver 1. Next, we have Jamar Chase, the Triple Crown winner in 2025. Yep. This guy's ass. No, we know he's not ass. This guy's an elite wide receiver. Metro, if you feel differently, we're going to have a very serious argument. What do you think about them having him here in the elite tier?
Yeah, no conversation. He's been, ever since he's entered the NFL, he's been in those conversations from day one. And his connection with Joe Burrow is insane. He is just a total difference maker, a total game changer. And, he's one of, if not the best receivers in the league. I would say probably number 2. We'll talk about, I'm sure we'll have that debate here in just a moment, but he very well could also be number 1. So I'm fine with the elite tier.
Cool. Let's stick him right here in elite tier and go to, what's up, Unc? Mike Evans. Year after year puts up thousands of yards. This guy's an absolute beast, and nobody can stop him, not even Father Time himself. What are we thinking here? Because when I think Mike Evans, I think I'm terrified, but also I'm not game planning like I am for a Tyreek Hill on the week. Is he the definition of good wide receiver 1, or do you think over time he's more of a serviceable wide receiver now today?
Well, he is a little bit older. We do have to take that somewhat into account. He's 31, but he's just so damn consistent. And, I mean, he barely got over 1,000 this year, but he also had some injuries. He was, 74th in 28th in receptions this year with 74 receptions, just over 1,000 yards. This is tough. I feel like we need to put him in good wide receiver 1. I could also make the argument that he's a serviceable wide receiver 1 because he is 31 years old. I'll leave it up to you. For me, it's between good wide receiver 1 to serviceable. I'll leave it up to you.
He's done things that most wide receivers we're going to put above him will never do. So I'm going to put him in good fair. Wide receiver 1 just out of respect. And maybe he's on the border like with Ladd McConkey. Let's leave him right here for right now. Next up, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra is a very unique one. The production is always there. It's hard to argue with that. But I don't see him as and I'm the Lions fan here. I don't see him as I do with Tyreek Hill, where I go, oh shit, we got Tyreek this week. I'm gonna cry. He's a fantastic wide receiver, but there's levels to this game when you're in the National Football League. What do you think in Metro for Amon-Ra's ranking?
Amon-Ra is just a dude who can find ways to get open, consistently. He's an absolute pain in the ass to go up against because he's just. You don't. When you think of a dominant receiver, you think of Chase, you think of Jefferson, you think of CD. Guys with a bit more size. You don't look at Amon-Ra and really are scared of him because he's a really smaller guy. I think he's top of borderline elite. For me, I am very high on Amon-Ra. He would probably be my, I don't know, off the top of my head, 6th or 5th best receiver in the NFL. He's just so consistent. He's reliable, plays through injury. There's not a lot of receivers I would want more than Amon-Ra. So I would put Amon-Ra at the very top of borderline elite right now.
I'm right there with you. Mr. Consistent. If anybody's like earned a place in this tier, it is this guy. And you could even argue maybe if we allowed like 5 or 6 wide receivers, we throw him in elite tier. But that's just me. He's going to stick right here at the beginning of borderline elite tier in front of Tyreek Hill, correct? Or you want him behind?
No, I put him in front just because like Tyreek Hill's highs are better than Amon-Ra. But we can't just, ignore the, 900 yards he just had. We just have to take some of that into account here.
Totally. Next up, this one will be very fun. BTJ of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Rookie season, phenomenal is the best word I can use. He was explosive. He was fast as hell. When you're 6'4" and you got crazy length and you're faster than them too, speaking of the DBs, it's hard to catch this guy and you score a lot of touchdowns. Now, where do we rank him after a really good rookie year? What are your thoughts on him as a wideout?
Yeah, he was third in yards last year with 1,282. Interestingly, though, he was 16th in receptions, so he was doing a lot of work with those. I wouldn't say limited, but with those receptions. So he was doing a lot of work. Funny enough, he had less catches than Jonnu Smith, which is just wild, wow. By the way.
That's insane.
Like Jonnu Smith, what a 1-year wonder potentially he has been. It's tough, man, because these other guys on this list, especially Mike Evans and especially Tyreek Hill, they have the stripes, right? They've been here for years now. It almost feels wrong to put BTJ in front of them, but it also feels right because I think he's a damn good player. I would put him in borderline elite, to be honest with you. I think he is that special of a talent. He showed it in just his rookie year that he is that guy. He can help lead a Jacksonville offense. I don't think he's in front of Amon-Ra, right? Now, if you were to ask me who would I want, I'd probably pick Brian Thomas Jr., but that's more of a projection more than a known. Like, I know what I'm getting from Amon-Ra. I just prefer, an outside receiver more so than a guy who plays a lot in the slot. But I would put Brian Thomas in the middle of Tyreek and Amon-Ra. Again, kind of the same story here. The reason why he's in front of Tyreek is you can't ignore the lack of production from last year. So I would put him in that middle of borderline elite.
The most fair take I've ever heard in my life. I'm gonna conflict with you a little bit. I think okay. BTJ had a crazy rookie year. When I go back and look at the highlights, I see blown coverages. I see guys that just aren't as fast. And that doesn't mean it discredits what he did, but I think the talents in borderline elite are just more special than BTJ personally. Maybe not talent's the word because he's got crazy talent. What I mean is NFL production over time, and he's a rookie, so obviously. But that's just my thoughts. I personally think I would pull for wide receiver 1, as in good wide receiver 1, in front of Mike Evans. I want to see one more year of this kind of production. Defenses now, there's going to be no more blown coverage. They know he's damn good. Let me see it one more time before I put him in borderline elite. That's my take, though, but if you feel strongly about borderline elite, we'll put him in there.
See, if you asked me, who would I rather have, Tyreek Hill or Brian Thomas Jr., I'd probably take Brian Thomas Jr., and I don't think I would stutter too hard with that one.
Understand.
As good as Tyreek has been over his career, you can't ignore how, let's be honest, how disappointing he was last year, going from 1,800 receiving yards to less than 1,000. I just, look, yes, some of the highlights deep downfield, there were some blown coverages. I could think of a handful on top of my head. And maybe there was some people who, didn't game plan hard enough against Brian Thomas Jr. But I also do think that he has earned his stripes. He was third in receiving yards, and I don't think you just get that for no reason.
That's pretty insane.
As the season went on, he got more productive. So if it was all early season production, right, where the first 6 weeks he was just putting up hundreds and hundreds of yards, and then as the season went on, he got less. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. To start the season off, he only had one game in the first maybe 12 or so games where he had over 100 yards. But then 3 of the last 4 games, he had 100-plus yards with multiple touchdowns in some of those. Multiple targets, like multiple double-digit targets, multiple double-digit receptions. I just think, yes, there was some blown coverages, and yes, there was maybe some moments where you can sort of nitpick and say, if this was Tyreek Hill, this wouldn't happen, and I would agree with you. But I also think that the season progressed and things didn't change. So I would put him in front of Tyreek. I don't necessarily feel like, like set in stone in it. Like, I don't feel so passionate about it. If you feel passionate about it, then I'm fine with him being a good wide receiver one. I just know there's going to be some Jaguars fans that might be a little bit mad about it.
Rare. But I do agree. I like that argument that he progressed throughout the season. And truthfully, I didn't think that was the case. So I'm a man who admits his faults. I agree with you on that. But out of respect for Tyreek Hill, can you meet me in the middle? We'll go right here, right behind Tyreek.
Yeah, that works.
That's called parenting. That's called a marriage. That's how we do it, Metro, on the air.
Hell yeah.
Next up, we have Flowers, the wide receiver for the Baltimore Ravens. He has been productive, but he's not changing the game. But
no.
I don't know if I'd put him in need an upgrade. What are your thoughts? Like, he works for the system. What do you think, Metro? I'll shut up and let you go.
No, you're right. I was going to say basically the same thing as you. The Ravens are a weird team where it's like you put Zay Flowers on a lot of different rosters. You're like, yeah, they could use an upgrade. Like, Zay's probably better as a second option. But with the Ravens specifically, with how they are such a run-heavy team and for what they want to do, they don't really need an upgrade, right? And he's been productive. I mean, 800-ish yards his first year, just over 1,000 his second year. I would say he's serviceable. I would put him right next to McConkey and feel really good about it. Like, he's definitely not one of those elite premier wide receiver ones, but for the Ravens, he gets the job done, right? And I don't think the Ravens are sitting here like, oh man, we got to go take a receiver in round one next year. They're probably feeling A-okay with Zay Flowers. So I'd put him in serviceable. Maybe you can talk me into need an upgrade, but I'm not really there quite yet.
I'm aligned, to be honest. I think we cooked. Let's put him right here behind Vlad in serviceable. Next up, Malik. Nabers. Oh my God, guys. As a man, you're supposed to be manly and not glaze other men. I'm taking y'all to Krispy Kreme once again. Malik Nabers will be in this elite tier by the end of 2025. You heard it here first. I love this wideout. He looked exceptional in his rookie year. He looked exceptional in college. Nobody can stop him. If Dart can get him a damn pass his way, he's going to feast. I think he had 50 targets last year or something stupid. And that is
170.
Oh my God. And that is for a reason. This guy's no scrub. I would be crazy enough to say Malik Nabers will be at the top, but I can't do that. I'm putting him here behind Amon-Ra St. Brown just because of the years of production he's had. But if I'm projecting, I'm throwing him in the elite, no questions asked. But Metro, that's my glazed Krispy Kreme take. What do you say?
Sometimes you can just tell when a wide receiver enters a league, and you just know that he's going to be one of those dudes. And Malik Nabers, you could tell from day one, he was one of those dudes. With Jamar Chase, you knew he was one of the guys. CD, Jefferson, you knew those guys were going to be really special. Maybe not Jefferson as good as he is, but you knew he was going to be pretty darn good. When you saw Nabers enter the draft, we all knew this dude was going to be incredible his rookie year. He was 7th in yards, 2nd in targets, and he was 5th in receptions. And he missed 2 games, by the way. So if he played those 2 games, he very well would probably have better stats than a lot of other guys. I'm with you. I would put him in front of Tyreek. Again, I would have had Brian Thomas in front of Tyreek too, but you can make the argument that Malik had just as good of a rookie season, if not even better than Brian, when you take into account that he did miss 2 weeks. If he had played those 2 weeks, assuming, decent production, his stats would have been better than Brian Thomas. So to me, there's a conversation between BTJ and Nabers. If you were to ask me who I would take for the long term, I'm probably taking Nabers just because he's got that difference. There's something with him. Maybe it's just aura. Maybe it's just, something with the guy, but there's something about Nabers that he is the future, right? He is the guy, and the Giants got a special one. So I'm with you. Again, for me, I'd have BTJ right next to him, but I'm fine with Tyreek, the Mr. Unk right in the middle.
Tyreek being Unk makes me feel like a complete Unk.
I know.
But guys, no football in this conversation real quick. When my wideout one, Malik Nabers, gets a concussion midseason, and within the next few days, he's at the Travis Scott concert. which means you're supposed to see no lights, by the way. If you ever get a concussion, it's not fun. You can't look at lights. This dude's looking at strobe lights, flashes. He's watching Fiend live in the front row. That is the making of an all-pro wide receiver. I rest my case. Metro, do you agree with that, or you say hell no?
No, if you are a receiver and you're a head case, you are him. Like, you are just him.
Because you can't be unless you're him.
Today's receivers, and I love them, Chase, CD, Jefferson, you got to get a little crazy, man. You just got to. Like, Tyreek got arrested before a game. That's the type of energy I need from these guys. And Malik Nabers with a concussion, watching Travis Scott, which is like the last place you'd want to be when you had a concussion.
Bro.
I cannot name a worse place than a Travis Scott concert when I have a concussion. That sounds horrifying.
Now that you say that, I've been to him live. I saw him before Damn Tour, before he opened for Kendrick. That was the craziest shit in my life, so I completely agree with you.
And could you imagine how it is now? I mean, that was a while ago. This dude's on a different stratosphere right now. Malik Nabers is absolutely him. I think we have our new wide receiver 1 next year.
Cook. Let's move on. We went to Krispy Kreme for this one, Metro. Really good stuff right here. Really good analysis. Drake London. I'm going to come out and say it. Drake London, I don't know whether it's whether he wears a Falcons uniform that like kind of off-puts me. I think he's really good. Like the definition of good wide receiver 1. But I'm just not feeling borderline elite. But maybe I'm just plain out stupid because I don't watch the Falcons enough. What are your thoughts, Metro? Educate me because I'm not the smartest man on earth.
No, I think I'm actually kind of aligned here with you. He did have really good numbers last year, 1,271 yards, which was 4th highest, 100 receptions. I don't know. It did take him a little bit, right? 3 years into his career, he finally gets over 1,000. I do kind of agree with you in the sense of, like, is he borderline elite? I don't know. What I have in my top 10 is my question. And now I did a top 10, I think, on Twitter. I don't even know if I posted it or not, and I did have him as my 10th, like just slipping in. So are we going to have like number 10 in borderline elite or towards the top of good wide receiver 1? And I think he'd be in front of good wide receiver 1.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to land. That's a really good point. Let's put him right here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's really close, though. It's really close between him, BTJ, even Tyreek, to be honest with you. Of course, we're giving Tyreek a big benefit of the doubt here. Like, we're just saying, hey, bad year last year, he'll bounce back, he'll be fine. We're giving him that, which I think it's a pretty fair thing to say, by the way. Drake is really, really close, and we might adjust at the end and put him in there, but for now, I feel pretty good about where he's at.
Cool. Let's stick him right here at the front of wide receiver 1, aka good wide receiver 1. And the reason we do that is because there's another guy. When you think of an alpha wide receiver, I just don't think. And by the way, Drake London, awesome. Sounds like we're shitting on him. He's a really good wide receiver, guys. When I think of alpha wide out, though, I think of a guy like A.J. Brown, who's right up here next. And A.J. gets all the red zone targets for a reason. He is what makes this offense go. And the dude's an absolute threat through contested catches. Of course, he yak yards as well. This guy's an absolute monster on the football field, and he brings the pain when he runs the ball. With that being said, I'm pushing for front of borderline elite personally, maybe even for sure in the elite. What are your thoughts, Metro? I know you're a big Cowboys fan, but you give respect to the Eagles, I've noticed. What are your thoughts?
I would put him in elite. Now, here's the thing. Statistically speaking, last year was not terribly impressive. He did miss 4 games last year, so he only played 13. 1,079 yards, which was the 17th highest in the league. I think it's important we add the context that this Eagles team runs the damn football every single play. So AJ's getting the ball on a limited sample size compared to, your Jamar Chases, who are the polar opposite of the world, right? Or the CD Lambs as well. So I'm willing to put him in the elite. Now I will say I do, and this is a really interesting conversation that I think we should have at some point in the future between CD Lamb and AJ Brown, because Eagles fans, AJ's better. Cowboys fans, CD's better. It's like in the NFL community is kind of the same way, where half is like AJ's better and half is like CD's better. I do think majority would say CD's better. I do think it's close. Of course, CD is our last player, so stay tuned for that one. But I think we put him in elite. I think he will probably be in the back of elite, and we'll have that conversation about, CeeDee Lamb. Spoiler alert, CeeDee Lamb's an elite wide receiver. Oh, who would have known? Who would have known?
If you didn't know that, you should probably find a different video.
Yep.
Let's put A.J. Brown, like you mentioned, really good breakdown in the elite tier. Nico Collins. This guy, for those...
Stay healthy, man.
For those of you that play fantasy, you know that the past 2 years when Nico Collins is on the field, you are in for a Christmas morning of a fantasy game. This guy is super efficient when he's on the field, but being on the field and playing, what's it called? It's like something is an ability.
Your best ability is availability.
Boom, man. That's why Metro gets paid the big bucks. And Nico has that to say for himself, but guys, he's crazy efficient. Where do you rank him, Metro? This one's a tough one.
He would be in the conversation with the Amon-Ra's. Again, he just can't stay healthy, though. Now, it's not like he's missing full seasons, but he missed 2 games in 2023. Last year missed, I think, 5 games, I want to say. So, they're not missing a bunch of time, but that is, substantial enough to compare that to an Amon-Ra who plays like almost every single game. Some people have him in their top 5. I would have him probably just outside of my top 5, and I think he'd be right next to Amon-Ra. Like, I think those two are really paired up next to each other. And I do think he's borderline elite when he's playing. Again, you got to stay healthy. If he can have a full season healthy, he'd probably be in the elite tier or like top of borderline elite because of some injury issues. It's between Nabers and Amon-Ra or between Nabers and Tyreek Hill, but I would probably lean towards and right behind Amon-Ra.
Okay, well said. I completely agree with you, except for I am full Krispy Kreme on Malik Nabers. I said that really poorly. That's on me. Pause. But I do think Malik Nabers is better is what I'm trying to say. Would you meet me here and put Nico behind Malik just because this guy played 15 games and was on course for the craziest season ever?
Yeah, that's fine. That works for me.
Okay, cool. Thanks for compromise. Man, we're so healthy. Look at us in our marriage. This
that is Joshua Downs. I do
think.
Say. Michael Pittman Jr. to me is their wide receiver 1.
Right,
either him or
we pretend it's
or
Pittman?
Alec Pierce. Yeah, we're just gonna say it's the Colts wide receiver 1 because there's actually a conversation to be had here about who is their wide receiver 1 because Alec Pierce had. God, this is insane. Hold on, am I reading this right? Alec Pierce had 37 catches for 824 yards, which means that's by far and away the highest average. Holy crap! He had a 22.3. Wow, that's insane. Like, average. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, what would you say? Is it Pittman? I've always been under the belief it's Pittman as their wide receiver 1.
It's a Donnie Mitchell. All jokes.
I know. I'm with you here. That dude's a stud. He needs to be on a better team. Trade that man to Dallas, please.
Oh, bro. Could you? Donnie Mitchell, Pickens.
George Pickens. Oh,
and CeeDee
I love it.
Lamb.
No, honestly, trade him. You know what would be a great spot for him to go to?
Hit me.
The LA Chargers.
Ooh.
Next to McConkey.
This is a hot take.
Gosh.
I'd rather have a Donnie Mitchell over Trey Harris. That's probably the coldest take in draft Twitter.
No, I don't think that is at all. That's a good take. I'd rather have him in a heartbeat.
Okay, look, Metro is also a Texas fan, but Metro knows more ball than me.
Well,
so,
I had Adonai Mitchell, and maybe again this is my Texas bias. I had him as a top 20 player in last year's draft class. I thought he was an elite talent, and he showed glimpses last year, but that damn quarterback can't throw the damn ball to save his fucking life. Dude, the amount of times Adonai Mitchell cooked up a corner and had legit 5 yards separation, it was overthrown, almost consistently. It was so frustrating. Colts fans know what I'm talking about. Maybe Daniel Jones could be Adonai Mitchell's heavenly figure because he was too damn good to not have the production that he should have had. Anyways, that's a whole little side tangent. I think it is Michael Pittman.
Let's go.
Now,
Pittman.
Josh Downs' stats are really close to Pittman's, but honestly, I don't think it really matters who it is. I think it's just serviceable, bottom of serviceable, to be honest with you. I don't really know if it's need an upgrade necessarily. Maybe it is.
The way we're talking about it, Metro, we have to go need an upgrade. We don't know who the hell it is.
But for me, it's also kind of hard to tell if they're if they need an upgrade because their quarterback situation has just been so bad.
Also valid. Because you could argue that for Flowers. Is if Flowers is in like a cult system, is he having the same success? And the answer is hell no, right? So
And like Pittman had 1,100 yards last year, which was not bad, and Josh Downs has been fairly productive. I don't know. Need an upgrade to me is like I do feel like we need to put somebody in that spot, and maybe it is just the Colts. Because I'm looking down the board here, I'm not really seeing too many needing upgrades, to be honest with you.
Exactly. So like someone's got to go. Someone's going to fall on the sword, and I think
it's the
we have
Colts.
found our first draftee. If you're
Yep.
Yep.
We can put like an asterisk next to it. They need an upgrade at quarterback.
Fair. That is completely fair. Like we were mentioning, these two flip situations, what the hell happens, you know?
Yep.
So let's put the entire Colts wide receiver core in this category.
Josh Downs, by the way, is a very talented player, like a very talented player. I saw somebody, and I'm going to get the exact quote wrong. I don't even know who it was from. I don't know if it was on TikTok or some like actual analyst, but they said they'd rather have Josh Downs than like, I can't remember. It was like they'd rather have Josh Downs than like Zay Flowers or somebody like that. Like they were just still high on him. They're like, he's a top 20 guy, just needs a quarterback. And I was like, oh, interesting. I guess we'll wait and see.
I respect the take completely. So let's put the Colts right here and need an upgrade asterisk, actually a quarterback. Next up we have, is this DJ Moore of the Chicago Bears, correct?
It is. Yep.
DJ Moore. Comes out of college, and this dude is a freak athlete on the Panthers. And get DJ a quarterback. Get him a damn quarterback. And he gets to the Bears. Didn't get a quarterback, but he's been pretty productive, and he does change the game. You have to know where he's at on the field. Now,
can I test your ball real quick?
Oh, what?
Can I test you real quick? What college did DJ Moore go to? Put you on the spot.
I said touch my ball, brother. I not test my balls. Like, excuse me, we're on the air. Yeah, the answer is yes, but we're on the air. Where did DJ Moore go to college? Is it going to be Group 5 or is it like Power 4?
It's a big school. It's not a big school. It's a relatively big school. I feel like if you really thought this through, you might be able to get it.
If I really thought this through, I might be able
another wide receiver one we're going to talk about in just a minute. I want to say he went there too.
Okay, interesting. He's kind of Deebo Samuel-esque. Is that what you're trying to hint to?
No. Well,
no.
For Deebo.
Okay.
Deebo went to South Carolina.
Okay, that's what I was going to my answer.
It's not SEC. I think it's Big Ten. I don't know, actually. I think it's Big Ten. Like a smaller Big Ten school.
Did you go to Maryland?
He did.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. We
This
got there
dude knows
help.
ball.
Thank you for the hint. That was good. I barely know ball,
Moore.
but here we are with DJ. I'm just going to say it. That's where I have him.
Okay.
Right there.
I would put him in front of Mike Evans, to be honest with you.
Okay, that's fair.
No, I wouldn't actually. I would not. Well,
why?
Maybe. It's like they're really close. It's because his first year with Fields, Justin Fields, by the way, 1,300 receiving yards. Last year with Caleb, just under 1,000. I think part of that was just because there's a lot of different receivers there now and a new system. I think he's a damn good receiver, though. I think actually, you could. It's up to you. Is he in front of Mike? Is he behind Mike? It's really close to me.
If I'm playing football, I want Mike Evans in my offense over DJ Moore. And maybe that's the coldest take of all time, but like Mike just gets it done, man. DJ also, I think it was the funniest thing, not his fault, where like he's running the route and the offense is so off cue that he just runs to the fucking bench mid-play.
Well,
I'm not grading him against that. It was just so funny I had to bring it up. But yeah,
and then he was like, "Oh, I got injured. I was like, "Bro, okay." He just walked off the field. Yeah, that was a bad look. I agree. I'd rather have Mike Evans too. Well, I don't know. It's really close. I'm with you though. They're right next to each other. Just fuse them together. Who cares?
Same thing. Potato. Mike Evans, DJ Moore. Same player. Next up, first-round pick from a couple years ago, Chris Olave, who can't seem to stay on the damn field. This poor guy keeps getting hit in hospital balls all over the place. But when he plays pretty well. Metro, I've seen the flashes, you've seen the flashes, but when, like we said, availability is an ability, I'd put him in front of Flowers, and that's just kind of where I stand until he can get on the field. But that's not his fault, though. That's the thing. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, like, these concussions are scary stuff for this dude. Like, he's had 2 or 3 now, and not just concussions that, you miss a game or two. Concussions where you are flat out. Like, you have to go to a hospital immediately. Like, scary
Not
stuff.
going to a Travis Scott concert.
Well, maybe that's why he's not a wide receiver one. Maybe that's why he's not Malik
crazy.
Nabers. Look, one healthy, the dude can absolutely play. He can play, man. I don't know, dude. To be honest with you, I was going to say need an upgrade just because, like, he can't stay healthy. And he might retire soon. If I'm him, one more concussion, I'm done. Like, I'm not even kidding. I would. Right? I mean, you got to prioritize your health at that point, which is just a sad thing to say. Maybe we should just judge him off of his actual in-field ability. On the field, solid player. Can win downfield, can win underneath, can do a lot of different things. 2 years over 1,000 before last year, where he only played half the season. Man, I guess I'll be with you with the serviceable. I think I'd actually put Zay in front of him, to be honest with you.
That's fair. That is fair. All is fair in love and war. And we're going to put Chris Olave right here with an asterisk of, we want to see you play, and also, if you're not playing, we also care about your health. Please retire for the best of you and your family. Anything else on there, Metro?
Nope. And we get to Rashee Rice, who's also coming off a bad injury.
Rashee Rice, bad injury. Also, bad driver. He crashed right outside my apartment when I was living in Dallas, and made me.
I was literally just about to say that he crashed like right down the street from me.
Yeah, bro. Like, literally, that was my exit. And I was like, oh, what's up, Rashee? And, yeah. But here we are. The guys, yeah, he's pretty good at football. He got hurt. When he's on the field and healthy, kind of a similar story of Olave, he's been Patrick Mahomes' go-to guy. And if that sustains going forward, we're going to feel real dumb putting him anything lower than a good wide receiver one. But I don't know how we put him in that category as of today. This one's a tough one. What do you think, Metro?
Yeah. He is in the very similar situation as Zay Flowers, where he's perfect where he's at. He's in the right situation with the right system. I feel like he's right behind Zay Flowers, right where Chris Olave is at.
Completely fair. We don't need to talk about it any longer.
Honestly, let's move Lad McConkey up. He's better than these guys.
Yeah. Justice for Lad. Lad, you are now in the good wide receiver one tier. Is Lad better than DJ Moore?
No. I mean, he had a better year last year, but I'll trust DJ to return to form.
Cool. I respect that. Let's go on to our next wide receiver. Forever underrated and underappreciated. Currently in contract talks. What you laughing about?
I love how every single year it's like, who's the most underrated receiver? Terry McLaurin. Like, guys, at some point, we got to stop calling him underrated. Like, he's a good player, dude. He's just good, but like everyone calls him underrated. If we're all calling him underrated, then he's not underrated. He's just good. Like,
this is fair. If every person's saying it, then he's not.
Dude, it absolutely kills me when I look at these articles or like top 10 underrated players. Number 1, Terry McLaurin. It's like, guys, we've been through this story 5 years in a row, guys. What are we doing?
This is 2020 content. Scary Terry. He's called Scary Terry because he's scary when the football is in his hand. He gets open, catches the football, and he's Jaden Daniels' go-to guy and a very key part through this transition and rebuild, and also a fantastic human. And as Metro mentioned, his favorite word, an underrated player. So where the hell do we rank Terry? Because I like Terry, but I don't love him like borderline elite. Where do we put him?
Yeah, he's the quintessential good wide receiver one.
I love that. I would put him in front of DJ Moore and maybe even Mike Evans behind Drake London. What are your thoughts on that?
I'd put him in front of Drake London, to be honest with you, just because Terry's, 5 years in a row with 1,000 yards. He's done it with, I think, Carson Wentz, Sam Howell, just
good God,
bottom of your shoe quarterbacks. I mean, last year with Jaden Daniels, finally some good quarterback play, and I'm expecting him to be even better. I love Drake London. I think Drake London might be a better receiver, but I also think we have to take into account, Terry's been that dude for 5 years. Drake's been that dude for 1 year. So, I'll give respect to Terry McLaurin here.
Unk, you get the pass. You're going to be the top of good wide receiver one. And let's go to our next wide receiver who's kind of cheeks. His name's Justin Jefferson Jr. And here we are. Metro, we're going up here to the top tier, correct? Unless you got some crazy take that's going to make me question this entire podcast. But what do you think?
No, I do wonder, are you a Chase guy or are you a Jefferson guy? I'm a Jefferson guy.
I'm a Jefferson guy because of how many years he has done it in a row. And I think Chase
5
got
straight.
injured a couple years ago, right? And that like was kind of threw a wrench in the whole thing, which is an argument, very fair. But Jefferson just keeps doing this shit again and again, and I don't have a reason to put him not at number 1.
Look, Jamar Chase statistic is insane. Look, both these guys are on track to be the T.O.s and Randy Mosses of today's era. So these two LSU dudes, man, ridiculously good. I mean, you really can't tell the numbers apart. They're so close to one another. Chase, 4 years in the league, 1,000 yards each year. This is even though he missed time in 2022, still over 1,000. Last year, 1,700 yards. Look at Jefferson, 5 straight years, 1,000 yards each season. Last year, only played 10 games, still managed to get 1,000 yards.
Damn.
Insane. Last year, 1,500 yards. 2022, 1,800 yards. It's super close, like unbelievably close. I've just been somebody who's like, Chase is an incredible player, but Jefferson is right there with him, and I would say he's like half a toe in front of him. And there's really not a reason to say it because you'd want to have both these guys. But yeah, I'd put Jefferson in front. It's a strong debate, and if you think Chase is better, I won't fight you against it. I will disagree, but I'm not going to fight you for it.
You ready to move on?
Oh, yeah. Yes, Brandon Ayuk coming off a disappointing season after a massive extension.
Ayukin up next, 49er, as Metro mentioned. I like Ayuk, but I'm not like – I have him here in good wide receiver 1. What are your thoughts, though? Like, this one's a tough one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough because he starts off his career a little bit slow, but then 2023, a big breakout year with 1,300 yards. Last year, only 7 games. In those 7 games, just 374 yards. And then he got injured, missed the rest of the season, all the off-the-field stuff going on. I don't think the trajectory is looking very good for Ayuk. Whereas you look at a Tyreek Hill, you have a long sample size of excellent play. You don't really have that with Ayuk. I still think Ayuk's a good player. I almost wish we had a section that's like, we don't know. Because that's where I put Brandon Ayuk. Because I don't
He's
know.
a rookie. Let's throw him down here.
Yeah, maybe we just put him there. No, man, it's tough. I would throw him in.
Is he serviceable?
Man.
It's with the attitude we're talking about him.
No, because I think when healthy, Ayuk's a better player. I'd put him in bottom of good wide receiver 1 with like a huge asterisk of like he could be a wide receiver 2 by the end of next year. We don't know, right? It's just a massive question mark. So I'll put him in good wide receiver 1, like back end of it, but I don't feel really comfortable about it. I'll say that.
Yeah, he's a hard one to rank, but we're going to be strong together and put him right here behind Lad McConkey in good wide receiver 1. Next up, this is Jerry Jeudy, correct?
Yes, Jerry Jeudy had a big-time breakout year for Cleveland of all teams.
Oh, man. Who breaks, besides Josh Gordon, who breaks out on Cleveland of all places? You love to see it. Good for Jerry Jeudy. Honestly, when this guy had his beef with Steve Smith Sr., I thought it was kind of over for him. Like, he called him a scrub, and I thought that was that. But no, he looked awesome last year. He played really, really well. A weird breakout year. It was like year 5 for him, right? But he did it, man. He looked good. Yep. But is this an upgrade section, or is this like, hey, serviceable, you're good for now, but we want to move you later? What are your what's your analysis, Metro?
Well, I would say for Cleveland's sake, you don't really need an upgrade yet. We'll, obviously want to see more from him just because it's been 1 year of this elite production. But, give him his flowers, 1,200 yards last year with really bad quarterback play. I think you got to put him in front of Brandon Ayuk just because, I feel like it's almost disrespectful to put Ayuk in front of him after what we saw last year. And frankly, I think you can make an argument that Jeudy would be in front of DJ Moore right behind Mike Evans.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
I mean, it's been 1 year, right? We got to emphasize that. But that 1 year to break out for Cleveland with Jameis Winston and Deshaun Watson and Dorian Thompson-Robinson, like you got to have a really solid year. Now, granted, you could also say that he's literally the only thing they have out there, which fair play. But I'm still going to give him his flowers. I'd put him in front of Lad, maybe not in front of DJ.
Would you value Lad's rookie breakout more, or the Cleveland breakout in like your 4th or 5th year?
I would value Jeudy breaking out on a horrendous roster more than McConkey because, look, McConkey was put in a nice situation where he was the clear number 1 option in a receiving core with Quentin Johnston and, Josh Palmer. Give Palmer his flowers, but that was the receiving core. So of course McConkey was able to step in there and had that connection with Herbert early on. I'll give Jeudy his flowers for being able to break out with, was it Jerome Ford as the starting running back, Deshaun Watson at quarterback, and a whole bunch of plumbers next to him. So I'll give Jeudy his flowers. He was sixth in total yards last year, and what was he? He was, how many targets did he get? He was ninth in targets. So he was getting a lot of looks last year. I'll give him his flowers. He's a little volatile, though. If he has a bit of a down year next year, then we're talking about serviceable to need an upgrade. But we'll give him his flowers.
Stamp and delivered. Good wide receiver 1 for Jerry Jeudy, behind DJ Moore and in front of Ladd McConkey. Next up, Courtland Sutton of the Denver Broncos. He had a good year last year, and he's not going to move the needle on your offense, but damn it, he's a solid wide receiver 1. I think he's the definition of serviceable. Where do you throw him in this tier ranking, Metro?
Yeah, this is another really tough one. A couple of tough ones in a row here. Man, only 2 years in his, I think, was a 7-year career with over 1,000 yards. Last year being the first in 5 years. Stayed healthy this year. Had a productive year. It does look like his best years are still to come. I don't know though. I feel like he's an awesome wide receiver 2, more than a wide receiver 1. If I'm being just straight up with you. Now, in the Broncos system, I think it's fine, but I think in an ideal situation, you have a superstar wide receiver 1, almost honestly like a Chris Olave would be a perfect fit for that team, and then Courtland Sutton plays that opposite role. But he is the wide receiver 1. I think we should give him his flowers. I think he's fine. I think he's serviceable. It's tough. I don't know if I want to put him in front of serviceable or back of serviceable or need an upgrade. Just throw him right in the middle. Just throw him in the middle. Just have fun with it.
The more you talk about it, I think they're going to need an upgrade here pretty soon. Because the question for the Broncos is already, who's going to step up? Because this guy can't do it completely by himself if they want to win a bunch of games and go on a playoff run. And with that being said, by definition, you kind of need an upgrade. But, we're not discounting him. We just said he's a very good player, but it's just not an alpha wide receiver 1, in my opinion. Are you game to keep him here and need an upgrade at the very front of it? Or you move it back up to serviceable?
I think it's a good sort of way to say it. If you're looking at your wide receiver 1 and you're saying we need him to be better than what he's been in his career, especially if he's been in the league for years, then they probably need an upgrade. Right, and I guess that's kind of where we are with Sutton. Again, he's a really good wide receiver 1. Let me rephrase it. He's a really fine receiver 1. He gets the job done, which maybe you can make the argument for serviceable. But if you are a Broncos team that wants to go out and contend for titles, you're going to need an upgrade eventually. So I'm okay with him being at that need an upgrade spot, to be honest with you.
Cool. Let's lock it in and put him at the very front of this, in front of Josh Downs/Pittman, asterisk. I wish they had a good quarterback. Next up, we have Garrett Wilson for the Jets. And, Metro, I'm just going to come out and say it. I think he's right behind Malik Nabers. I think he's borderline elite. This guy gets open. He catches the football. He makes some of the greatest catches I've ever seen in my life. And I think he's just in hell. And I feel so bad for him. And I just want to, hold him like a baby and be like, I'm sorry, little one. You don't deserve this. You need to get out of here. It's like that meme where you got the cat inside the store and they're like, I'm going to get you out of there. That's what I feel about Garrett Wilson. That's my thoughts. Behind Malik Nabers, in front of Nico Collins. But what are your thoughts?
I agree with you with all what you said. I would put him right behind Brian Thomas Jr. with borderline elite. And he's got good numbers, 1,000 yards in 3 straight seasons, but just over 1,000. I will agree with you. This dude's been in absolute hell. Aaron Rodgers, hell. Zach Wilson, hell. Robert Saleh, hell. This dude's been an absolute a torture chamber. But it's not going to get better this upcoming season either because he's got Justin Fields for 2 years. So I don't think we can move him up, even though we think he's a damn good player. He hasn't had that good quarterback quite yet, so I think for me at least, I would put him behind BTJ because even though BTJ was playing with some questionable players around him, he still had 1,200 yards last year. Tyreek Hill has done it with Tua for the past 2 or 3 years now. Nico, I do think is just as good as Garrett Wilson. Maybe Wilson has a higher upside, but Nico has a bit more provenness in some ways. So I would argue Garrett to be in the back end of borderline elite. That's where I would probably put him at.
I'm game for that. Let's put Garrett Wilson back here and asterisk. If his quarterbacks didn't want to do drugs and hump on moms, he'd probably be a lot higher, and that's just the unfortunate situation. Next up, we have DK Metcalf of the Pittsburgh Steelers via trade. And speaking of drugs and quarterbacks, that's who will be throwing to him this season. What a segue. Man, we're getting too good at this. Where do you rank DK? I think DK is one of those guys personally that I want him. I think he's like a good wide receiver one definition, but I'm not putting him anywhere near borderline elite. He's not changing the game for me, but I need to know where he's at on the field.
I'm going to let you take this one because I've just never been a DK guy. Like, he's just never been my speed.
Go ahead. I want to hear it.
I don't know why. It's just something I'm not saying like I don't like him as a person or anything like that. It just, for me, he's never been a guy that I would ride for as like a top wide receiver. I think he's been good. He's had 3 years with 1,000 yards, 3 years without 1,000 yards too. He's just not my style. He's a hit or miss guy that some weeks dominates, some weeks doesn't dominate. Very inconsistent. I would put him in good wide receiver one. He gets the job done. He's definitely not, as questionable as like a Brandon Ayuk or, Jerry Jeudy. I think where you have him there is about where I'd probably put him at too. He's just never been my speed, right? Like when he got traded to Pittsburgh for Pickens, I don't really view that as that big of an upgrade because I think he's just like the same player as Pickens, but just maybe a bit more consistent and, not a diva. Like, well, he's a bit of a diva, but not as big of a diva as Pickens, who's on my Cowboys now.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. It's like we've seen flashes in the pan, not super consistent, but he's not consistent as Mike Evans or DJ Moore. And he's more consistent than these guys here in the back because they've only done it for technically 1 year. So let's put him right here in the middle, like you mentioned. You aligned for this? Double checking? You're good for this position between DJ Moore and Jerry Jeudy?
Yeah, that's probably where I'd have him at right now. And even then, I think Jeudy and Ladd and even Ayuk could pass him this upcoming season if they have a good year.
Perfect. Well said. Let's lock it in and go to Calvin Ridley of the Tennessee Titans. Ridley has an awesome article. I feel like I wrote this thing. Speaking of article, Metro started writing some articles. You all should go check it out if he's interested in that. I'll throw it in the comments. If not, he's just going to cut this out. Awesome stuff. Go check it out in the description. But as we were saying, Calvin Ridley has an awesome article on when he did his sports betting thing and how he recovered. We'll also put that in the description. I'll find a way to throw it in there. Really good stuff. But good guy's my point, and I'm rooting for him. But I think we need an upgrade personally. I think he had an awesome couple of years when he was younger. And then since then, I think it's been good, but it's not moving the needle for me. What are your thoughts, Metro? I think he's a great wide receiver, too, not the wide receiver one. But go ahead, take the floor.
You want to talk about another guy that I just can't get behind? It's Calvin Ridley. For whatever reason, he's like the same, but a little bit worse as like a DK Metcalf. For whatever reason, I can't get behind him. He's 30 years old now. He's been in the league for a few years. Obviously, 2022, suspended for most of the year. I think the entire year, actually. Goes to Tennessee last year. Back-to-back 1,000 yards in two different systems. I think you have to at least pay him his dues. I don't know if he's necessarily a great wide receiver one. I would put him in back of serviceable, though. I don't really feel like he's bad enough to be an upgrade spot. But I'm also not, sold on him as my long-term guy. So I think he's, border... serviceable, bordering on need an upgrade eventually.
With what you said, I agree. And also, you said at one point we're going to need an upgrade. That's what you said, word for word. So I kind of...
maybe.
But I'm also
like, okay, he's serviceable for now, but 2 years from now, I would want an upgrade. So
fair, but when we just discussed at the beginning of the video, we're serviceable guys we feel really good about. I don't feel really good about Ridley. That's just me. We're trying to put respect on serviceable, and if I put Ridley in there, it just takes the tear down.
Yeah, but I'm also I feel okay because of the situation too, where Tennessee has a new quarterback. They don't really need to go for it now. They can just kind of wait and see, let him be a serviceable number one for a little bit, and then we'll upgrade with some younger guys to fit your timeline here in a few years. I don't know. I just feel like he's a little bit better than need an upgrade right now.
Cool. Well said. Good debate. Let's put him here at the back of serviceable, not in front, behind Chris Olave. Ooh, This will be my favorite one of today. Marvin Harrison Jr. Was pretty much scouted as God. And this wide receiver was supposed to be an absolute machine. And in his rookie year, well, he looked like a rookie, so no fault to him. But it wasn't the hype fest we were expecting. Kind of similar to a guy like Caleb Williams, just a down year as a rookie. Does he evolve? Does he become the wide receiver he was supposed to be, at least with the hype in our eyes, because you know how that goes on the hype train. I don't know where to put him. He's a rookie, and he had a rookie season, but now we have to rank him technically. Where do we put him? Can I just shoot my spot and see what you think about it?
Yeah, shoot your spot here, because I don't know why, to be honest with you.
I'm going to go here.
Okay, that works for me. he's a weird one because it's like we're banking on the talent a little bit, but he hasn't really proven anything. He's been, 1 year, not a great year. I also don't think the situation was that great for him last year. Just based off last year, because it's like we're not predicting what they're going to be. We're just talking about where they're at now, and we're kind of in some ways using common knowledge about what their future could look like. I guess we can put him in service, but I'd maybe move him up to where we had him at initially at good wide receiver 1, because I don't know. I don't think Arizona's panicking by no means. I think they're feeling pretty good about him. They're like, okay, bad year last year. We're not overly concerned. He's going to get back on track this upcoming season. Now, if he comes out the gates next year, kind of similar to his rookie year, then okay, let's have some conversations. But I think we both feel pretty good that he'll be just fine. Again, kind of one of those weird players that's really hard to rank, to be honest with you.
Yeah, right there with you, man. And something I've noticed, and I think everyone else noticed it too because we all have eyes, bigger wide receiver prospects typically take more years to develop than a young slot wide receiver. It's just easier to get open when someone's not pressing you off the line. And when you're known for being big and burly and running through bad defensive backs, guys who will be plumbers, as Metro says, it's way easier in college, is my point. The DBs in the NFL are strong as hell. They're 6'1", they're lengthy. You can't just outpower them like you did in college. So if my guy's not going to be a future accountant, you need to adjust and have a learning curve. Kind of nice little combo right there. But yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr., back of good wide receiver 1. Anywhere else you want to move him? You think it's a good spot for him?
Yeah, it's a good spot for him. I also just think his connection with Kyler has to improve. Sometimes Kyler likes to throw him these lasers when sometimes he wants a bit more of a layered pass. Give me a finesse ball, not necessarily a physical ball. Like that's the stuff they got to figure out. If they can figure that stuff out together, then he'll be fine. But for now, he'll be in good wide receiver 1, bordering on serviceable. Maybe we might move him a little bit later. We'll figure it out.
Well said. Great talk. Next, this is my favorite wide receiver. All jokes. But guys, real quick, while we do love making content for you on this channel together, we also have our own channels, Metro and I. If you love NFL analysis content, Metro is your go-to guy at Metro Sports. Go check it out in the subscription and subscribe down below. And then if you want a different change of pace, want more NFL draft content, I'm your guy, believe it or not. And Cade Rathbone's going to be in the description as well. That's me. Thank you very much. Let's move forward. And also, if you're enjoying the video, please drop a like. Helps us out a bunch. Thank you very much. We have Stephon Diggs for the Patriots because he signed a deal there. He's going to be helping out Drake May. Stephon Diggs, honestly, what were his stats, Metro? I'll yap here while you look this up, unless you already have it up because you're an absolute pro. How did he look last year? You go on ahead, because I can't remember.
Between 2018 to 2023, I think 6 straight years of 1,000 yards. Last year, only played 8 games. In those 8 games, 496 yards. On pace for another 1,000-yard season if he was able to stay fully healthy. It's a tough one, man, because he's 31. He's clearly on the decline, but he's also still a really good receiver. He's totally serviceable. He's totally in that range. I would put him in good wide receiver 1. I think for me, the conversation's about, do I put him in front of DJ Moore? Do I put him in front of DK Metcalf? It's close for me. It's close.
It's real close. And I would have him right here, like you mentioned. DK still feels like if he's in his prime, it's going to be now still with Diggs on the decline. And don't get me wrong, guys. Diggs has been an absolutely phenomenal wide receiver 1. But he is taking a step back just because he's getting older. Father time gets us all. You'll start getting tight hamstrings. I think this is where he'll go in wide receiver 1. Do you like this ranking? You want to push him back more or more forward? What are your thoughts?
If I were to fight you, it'd be over in front. I wouldn't fight you. I'd probably lose. I'd put him in front of DK. But I'm fine with where he's at right there, too.
Cool. Let's do it. You know what? Let's actually, screw that. Let's fight. One guy just got traded for in a huge contract. One guy got free agency and said, hey, go test the market. That's just kind of how I view it. Can we put DK in front?
I agree. I have no counter to that. That's a fair point.
Cool. We both walk out of the fight with black eyes, and let's go to our next wide receiver. Is this Khalil Shakir?
That is Khalil Shakir.
Khalil Shakir of the Buffalo Bills. Would you consider Keon Coleman or Shakir their wide receiver one?
I would probably say for now it's Shakir, with Keon being the developmental guy that has the talent to get there. I'm not a Keon Coleman guy, by the way. I just haven't really been on his side that much. I don't think he's bad by no means, but I think he's probably best suited as like a third option. This is interesting because it's a similar conversation to Rice and to Zay, where it's like he's more than capable for that system, but you put him on almost any other team, he probably would want an upgrade. So I would probably say needed an upgrade, but it's not like a drastic need, right? Like Khalil's a fine receiver. I mean, 821 yards last year, the year prior 611. He's just going to get better. I wouldn't be surprised if he hit 1,000 this year. But he's not a difference maker or anything like that. He's not a game changer. You know, I just think he does his role. He fits the system, and Keon Coleman you're hoping will develop a little bit. But again, he's totally fine for this team, for the system. But I would probably put him in need an upgrade. That's where I would put him at.
Metro, I love when you confirm my confirmation bias. I'm right there with you, man. The question is, do we put him in front of Cortland Sutton, in front of the Colts? Because we just paired the whole wide receiver core together.
Yeah, I'd put him in front because I feel the most confident in Khalil Shakir.
Okay, cool. Let's do that. Let's put him at the front of need and upgrade. No offense to him. He works for his system, but likely would be a wide receiver two, a really good wide receiver two on any other team.
Yep.
Next up, Puka Nacua, the rookie sensation from, the 5th round. And then in his sophomore season, he was super hyper efficient as well. I think he started the first, 4 or 5 games on the IR, then eventually played. What was the sitch there? Or was it just bouncing in and out of games? Do you remember?
I honestly can't remember what he was doing with, but I know he missed a couple weeks. But I mean, I'm not really taking that into account. He played 11 games last year, just 10 yards under 1,000, so he's totally fine. But
Cool.
he's in my borderline elite.
Yeah, Puka's right there, man. He's absolutely earned it. But how high do we rank him? He is, because I did I'm a little bit of a nerd, Metro. Maybe I don't know ball, but I do look at stats for fun in my free time. That shows what kind of person I am. And I looked at all the fantasy wide receivers, and this is real football, not fantasy football. But these two, Nico and Puka, while they were hurt a little bit, they were hyper, and I mean hyper efficiency, like top 3 in the league I'm talking. So I'd put him right here next to Nico, maybe in front of Nico in my opinion. Where would you rank him? I wouldn't be mad if you ranked him even more higher in borderline elite.
Man, he makes some plays, man. Like I was chopping up a video and I had some Puka Nacua highlights, and this dude, the catches this guy makes is insane. Like he will catch a over the shoulder ball while he's hanging on for dear life with his toes just falling down. I mean, he does it every single play. Man, it's tough. I think I'm okay with where you have him at, though, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think he has the elite athleticism of a Malik Nabers. I think Amon-Ra's a bit more consistent, a bit more reliable. Puka's right there with him, though. Nico just can't stay healthy, so I think that's fine. It's close. It's really close. By the way, he got cheated on by his girlfriend. RIP to my man. Hopefully he's okay next year. Honestly, if I'm in fantasy, he's my 2nd-round pick. Right, he's going to go absolutely disgusting next year. Him and Devontae Adams. Ooh, anyways, yeah, I'd put him in. I think I'm honestly okay with where we have him at.
Cool. Approved by Metro, of course, means good with me. Next up, we have Jacoby Myers of the Las Vegas Raiders. Listen, Jacoby has been actually pretty efficient over the past couple of years. He just kind of chills in the shadows and does his thing and makes plays. But I'm not confidently putting him in my wide receiver 1 position every single Sunday. I think he is in a need an upgrade. Maybe like the very bottom. Maybe that's a really cold take. What are your thoughts, Metro?
Yeah, so last year, he's been in the league for a couple of years now, and this is now his 7th season he's going into. But last year was his first time getting over 1,000 yards. I think for the Raiders, he's totally fine. But again, it's kind of a similar conversation to Khalil Shakir, where it's like, in a year from now, are the Raiders looking for a potential upgrade there, or are they content with Jacoby being there? And like we mentioned with Khalil, you put Jacoby on like 90% of rosters in the NFL. He's probably their wide receiver too. So I'm kind of with you. I'd put him right behind Khalil Shakir. Well, no, I'd put him right behind Cortland Sutton, I think, and need an upgrade. And by the way, these four players we're talking about, they're not like in dire need of an upgrade. They're like, yeah, you can use an upgrade though, but they're not like, oh, we got to get one next year or something like that. They can wait a couple years. They're totally fine.
Yeah, they're all wide receiver ones for a reason. Just like, you got a top 10 NFL draft pick. You know what? We can take an upgrade. That's kind of where we're at this point. So you said you want to go right here behind Cortland Sutton, correct?
Yes, I put him right there.
Approved. On to the next one. We have 2 rookies who we'll rank here at the end, but do you just want to rank them now? Because I think these 2 are more fun, to be honest. Suspense. What's more suspenseful?
Matthew Golden, serviceable. Tet McMillan, serviceable. I like Tet McMillan. I do worry about the situation where he's going to be asked to be a number 1. I kind of think he's better suited as like a really high-end number 2. But I think they'll both be serviceable. I think they'll both be fine. With, Tet McMillan being a bit more, high-level serviceable. I'd probably put Tet like right in front of Zay maybe, or right behind Zay, in fact. Yeah, right there. That's where I'd put him at.
I like that. That's good. You don't take a snap in the NFL. We can't put you at good wide receiver 1. You got to earn that. Even Marvin Harrison Jr., he wasn't phenomenal, but guys, he's at least had his snaps. This is where we'll rank Tet McMillan and Matthew Golden in the serviceable tier. Next up, CeeDee Lamb. Do we rank him in front of A.J. Brown or behind A.J. Brown? That is the question. And Metro, you are a very respectable Cowboys fan who also really gives respect and their flowers to the Eagles. And you were talking, bro, you were glazing up A.J. Brown just a minute ago. You said you love him. So what are your thoughts? I can argue on this, but I think you're more equipped to than anybody.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb and A.J. Brown is a debate that will be debated for the next, as long as he's a Philadelphia Eagle, it's going to be a conversation. Statistically speaking, both these guys are neck and neck with one another. CeeDee's now on to his 4th straight year of over 1,000 yards. Last year was 1,700. This year it's just under 1,200. That's even though he missed 2 games. A.J. Brown, 3 straight years over 1,000. Only 1 year of his career with less than 1,000. Doesn't quite have the high of 1,700, but does have the high of about just under 1,500. It's really close. In terms of play styles, I think it's just kind of what is your preference or what is your personal cup of tea. CeeDee, more versatile, can play on the inside, can play on the outside. AJ, much more of your true alpha outside wide receiver. CeeDee's a bit more of a unique guy where he's clearly the alpha, the number 1 guy, but you want to put somebody next to him who can predominantly win, deep, like a Michael Gallup or the now George Pickens. When you look at A.J. Brown, you want to pair him up with somebody who might have a bit more versatility, a.k.a. Skinny Batman, Devontae Smith, somebody who could play on the slot but can also play on the outside a little bit. I'm a biased guy. I'm going to say CeeDee Lamb's better. I think CeeDee's had the better statistics the past about 2 years now, even if you include 2022 where AJ was a little bit better than him. It was still really close. I think CeeDee in totality has better statistics. And I think play on the field, CeeDee can take over games. I do think AJ, man, when he is on fire, you're not stopping him, right? So AJ might have better games, but over the course of a season, I would take CeeDee Lamb. So it's a really close 50-50 conversation. For me, I give it to CeeDee. For somebody else, it might be AJ. It's really close, but I would probably put CeeDee as my 3rd best receiver in the NFL.
Well said. I'm looking at all the stats side by side, and what I see is who had the best season of all time out of these 2? CeeDee Lamb, 2023, 1,700 yards and 12 touchdowns. A.J. Brown's best season, also fantastic. 1,400 yards, basically 1,500 yards and 11 touchdowns. So the nod goes to CeeDee there. Consistency, CeeDee's done it 4 years in a row at 1,000 yards. AJ had a hiccup technically, but he was injured for 4 games, and he still had 800 yards. So I'm going to give the nod to CeeDee just because we've seen the ceiling of absolute dominance in a single year. Was he the Triple Crown that year, or is he just off it with a freak season?
Was this 2023? I'm not too sure. I'm sure he was really close, though, because he had some monstrous numbers, 1,700. I think he was – actually, I think 2023 – was that the year Chase went crazy again? No, Chase did not go crazy. No, it wasn't Chase. Somebody went crazy. Oh, Tyreek Hill.
Oh,
had
of course.
Almost 1,800 yards. Tyreek Hill, I think, had – I don't know if he was Triple Crown, but he was a little bit better than CD. Yeah, look, I'm going to give it to CD. I think CD's third. But, again, we are not like – we're not set in stone with that one. We are like, he's in front for now, but next year it could be, flipped for all we know.
That's right. It is ever evolving, and at the end of the day, just flat out entertaining. Finally, we have JSN, a very, very fun wide receiver. Broke out last year. It was year 3 for him because he was like, when you look at wide receivers, you try to gauge when they'll break out in fantasy, and you're like, okay, year 1, year 2. They need to do it by then.
He's entering year 3 now. Gotcha.
So year 1 was like pretty rough if you're trying to get a breakout player, but he looked fine. And then in year 2, he looked phenomenal. But how high do we rank that 1 year? Because we got a lot of 1-year guys here like Ladd. We got Jerry Jeudy, who broke out on the Browns. How the hell do you do that? And then you have this really consistent group here at the front. I'm willing to put him above DK Metcalf, like literally right above him, just because I've seen him do it once compared to these guys in front of him doing it multiple times. But, of course, we can't just judge off of history like with a guy like Mike Evans, but that's just kind of where I'm at. Where do you think?
Yeah, JSN had a major breakout year last year, 137 targets, 100 catches, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. Another versatile piece that can do a lot of different things. I do prefer JSN a lot more than DK. I'd feel a lot more comfortable with JSN as my starting guy than a guy like DK Metcalf. I feel good about where he's placed at here. I will say, this is just my opinion. You could disagree or agree with me. I think there's a very strong divide between the top 4 guys, right? So our elites here, there's a very strong divide between those 4 guys to the next set of guys. But then I think in good wide receiver 1, there is a massive divide between the top 5 guys behind everyone in who's below JSN. So, for example, DK, Stephon, Jeudy, Ladd, Ayuk, and Marvin Harrison Jr., I think they're in a completely different category than the front 5 guys.
And I completely agree with you. Are you aligned to this, Metro, what I'm doing right here?
I would say put them in solid wide receiver 1, probably.
Oh, I said 2. My bad, brother.
Solid wide receiver 1.
Good catch. But yeah, is this what you were talking about in your breakdown?
Yeah, I think that for me, there's just a really strong divide with good ones to solid ones, right? With JSN, I'm like, okay, he's a good wide receiver 1. DK, I'm like, he's solid. He's good enough. He gets the job done. But he's not serviceable. He's better than serviceable.
Well said. This is our final tier list. Metro, let's go through. We did this with, was it coaches or teams? We each get to change one thing about the list if we want to, and if not, then we let it be. And you go first and I go second. I cannot undo what you did before, and you can move them as far as you want within the tier. We can also, if we agree together, we can move them below or above the tier. Let's go bottom to top. Need an upgrade. Anything you want to change here, Metro?
No, I feel pretty good about it.
Cool. Me too. Let's go to serviceable. Go ahead, Metro. Anything you want to change here at all?
I'd move Zay up 1 to solid receiver 1.
Okay. I'm aligned with that. Let's go Zay to solid wide receiver 1. I feel really good about that too. Welcome to the club, Zay. Since we have a new tier, you fit in perfectly. In our solid wide receiver 1 tier, we have DK Metcalf, our man Diggs, Jerry Jeudy, McConkey, Ayuk, MHJ, and newly Flowers. Anything you want to move? This is an interesting group. Anything you want to shuffle?
No, I feel pretty good. I feel okay with this one.
We've been cooking all day, too, so I feel pretty good about this stuff, too. Good wide receiver 1 here, the tier above it. We have McLaurin, Drake London, Mike Evans, DJ Moore, and newly JSN. Anywhere you want to go here?
No, I feel good. I feel all right.
Would you be okay with this?
I'm okay with that. If that's what you want to do.
Cool. Honestly, you okay with this?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. We moved Mike Evans back 2 spots, and now he's behind JSN and DJ Moore, just because of regression. It happens to everybody. Next up, we have borderline elite. We have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Malik Nabers, Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, Hill, our man, why am I blanking? Brian Thomas Jr., and then, of course, Garrett Wilson. Anything you want to change here, Metro? This is a very interesting spot.
I would again advocate for BTJ in front of Tyreek, but if you feel passionate about Tyreek being there, then I'm okay as well.
You get to do this without my permission, and I'm game for it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'll put
anyways.
BTJ there.
Cool. Do you want to move any higher, or are you good?
No, Nico, when healthy, is a better player, but it's really close.
Cool. Let's move BTJ up 1. Is it wrong to do this? Garrett Wilson
There's a
up
lot
1?
of question marks with Tyreek. I guess there's more questions with Tyreek than Garrett. Sure, I mean, your call.
Okay. It does feel pretty wrong to put Tyreek Hill at like wide receiver 10 here, but you see regression, you got to take notes, and Wilson is definitely not going to regress anytime soon. This guy's an absolute beast. We move Wilson up 1, and as well as BTJ and Tyreek Hill down twice to wide receiver 10. Next up, we have our elite tier. It goes Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, and A.J. Brown. I feel great about this, and we talked about this a lot, but do you want to change anything?
Nope. Sounds good.
Did you say CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver 1?
Hell yeah. I'm down with that.
Guys, this is our final tier list. What were your thoughts? Drop it in the comments below. Were people way too high, way too low? We want to hear from you because you know your team best. We love hearing your opinions. Drop it in the comments. Thank you very much. If y'all enjoyed this video, by the way, drop a like because the YouTube algorithm is kind of dumb as rocks. And if you watch for 40 minutes and you don't like it or comment, they think that you hated this video, which Metro and I don't agree with. So if you drop a like, it helps the algorithm out a bunch. Thank you very much. And last but not least, we appreciate y'all more than you know sticking with us to the end. This episode was a ton of fun to make, and we appreciate y'all sticking all the way. Have the best day. Love y'all. Metro, get us out of here.
Thank you guys for watching. Don't roast us too hard. It's just our opinion. Love you guys. Peace.